Alright, hello all you crazy people out there. My name is Dragonite, and welcome back to Harvest December. This is Theological July, and it's been a day since I've recorded this last, and I don't remember what's going on already. I looked at my cell phone only to learn that it was past midnight. Now what? I mumbled as I flipped another page of my book. It was time to sleep, but I had resisted the urge for some time. My eyelids were droopy, but time was running short. I was getting drowsy. The cicadas were still singing outside despite the nightfall. I could hear the faint voices though through the curtain of falling snow in July. Oh yes, the weather's gone wonky. That's the thing that's happened. The seasons were mixed up, but it seemed that the animals still maintained their regular cycle. Maybe only those with a keen sense of their surroundings got affected by the change in seasons. Like people and gods, I muttered as I scanned the pages with sleepy eyes. I knew this wasn't productive, but I was still struggling to understand what was in the book. I was like a child that wanted more candy, even though its belly was already full. Its belly was already full. Interesting. The need for knowledge, the drive that pushed us forwards and towards our destruction. Deification after evolution, I read. It was something only humans could do. Science aimed for technology that could be reproduced again and again. It was something that we developed through cultural necessity. It was something that we developed through cultural necessity. It was inevitable there were people who were obsessed with it as well. New ideas developed from progress. Yeah. In case you can't tell from my voice, I just woke up. Let me go and have some of this water that is sitting on my desk. Alright, come on, voice, cooperate. New ideas developed from progress. Interest would shift from a simple belief to a complex necessity to evaluate. The need to have a total control, the need to become a god. Countless experiments and failures, thoughts, beliefs, faiths. And then, it all compounds into a god. According to the book I borrowed from Dad, that was how Shiro was born. Her presence protected and held certain beliefs that were incorruptible. She was sacred. The majority of people would believe in it and believe that a god was absolute and leave it as that. Oh my god, I should not be reading today. But I want to, because I want to finish this off. But a handful of people had persevered. They knew about authority gods had as substance. They knew it could be attained and passed on, or taken by force. Like Marui, Dad's theory on authority could have proven that by accident. Could be proven by accident. Could be proven by that incident. Or accident. Incident, accident. The writer of this book was in a very similar area to Dad's research. I could see why Dad suggested I read it. There was a monochrome picture of a ritual for passing on powers printed on the page. Wah! I yawned? Oh, that's a yawn. This was as far as I could go. Before I closed the book, I took a glimpse at the biography of the author. Moto Fukuyama. Yeah. He graduated from the same university as Dad. They were close in age, too. Perhaps they knew each other. I need to sleep. I packed the textbooks for the next day into my bag and switched off the lights. My blankets were comfortably warm. It was the middle of summer, but I was enjoying a warm blanket. I couldn't get used to it. I woke up feeling a presence nearby. Did I wake you? Now that I've heard your voice. She was so close I could hear her breathing. Shiro was clutching a pillow larger than herself. It was so quiet, I could hear the cotton of her pillow scrunching under her hands. Only her golden eyes were what was left of the past god, something like that. She averted her eyes from mine. I thought you were sleeping in Mom's room. Mommy-chan grates her teeth. The sound's so loud I can't sleep. Even Dad sleeps in his study now. I mumbled through my sleepy head. Well, I need to sleep. I'm not forcing you, but I don't know if I have anything to offer, and I don't deserve to ask, but Can you get to the point? It was a bad situation, just rambling to someone that had just woken up. I took too much time to understand what she wanted to say. I was beginning to get irritated. Well, I'm cold too. I was reaching my limit. Masaki! I grabbed hold of her wrist and pulled her under the blankets. She rubbed her forehead on my chest, and it hurt a bit. Her breath brushed against my chest. She clutched onto my shirt with both hands, tightly. Shiro-sama. It was as if she was hanging on to me for dear life. That's better. Wait. What did I just do? My brain was slowly beginning to work. I see you're finally awake. Yeah. Now I knew what I was doing. I know I should leave. You're just tired and you don't even know what you're doing. She pressed her forehead against my chest and tightened her grip. Ellipses. She was being a silly girl. She was far from the clever, wise god I used to know. She didn't even notice how badly she was shaking. It's alright, it makes no difference. Shiro stiffened. Even if you go, Nuki will just come disturb me anyway. You make it sound as if it doesn't really matter who you're with. She laughed bitterly and relaxed. I held my breath. Should I hold her, or should I stay still? I wanted to roll over and face away. It was so quiet. I imagined I would just be able to hear the sound of my limbs. But I couldn't because she hung on to me. So I stayed still, listening to the ticking clock, the only sound left in the room. What's going to happen to me? Shiro spoke into my chest. Now that I'm mortal. Shiro-sama, I don't remember the last time I was human. Or rather, I don't even know if I ever was. Will I grow? Shiro asked. Will I grow old and die? The god asked. Am I human? God, girl, human, whatever. She was experiencing all the fears that she never had as a god. Her only fear she had before was being alone. That's why she took a husband occasionally and had children. It didn't matter who or what her family was. She just needed the company. That's why she never ceased to communicate. And that was how she had dealt with it so far. She braced herself for the inevitable separation each time the time came. But because of that, there was a hollow gap in her heart. It was always there. I have too many memories in this land. Are you thinking of leaving? I probably will. And I'll die alone in some foreign place. Reality is merciless. I look too young to work. I don't have anybody to go to. And what's more, I don't have the experience as a human to know how to live. I only have you now. She was being crushed by the real world. While she was in Tagami, she could live off the kindness and charity of the people. But that was such a fragile thing. Time would eventually bring her down. Eventually. The kindness and charity could turn into resentment. That was what she was afraid of. But I suppose I don't really have you either. I don't really matter to you. Her fears made her doubt me too. I wanted to protest, but please don't throw me away. I felt like the worst man on earth. Masaki, please. Please don't throw me away. The girl began to beg like that. Wait, what? Oh, to make a girl beg like that. Shiro lifted her face. She looked desperate and confused. She didn't understand that she was begging because she never had the need to do so before. I had to give her an answer. The way a god would to a human asking for a miracle. A mere human passing judgment on a god. So this is what I call deterioration. Hit! I rolled onto my back and lifted her on top of me. Masaki. I had nothing to say, so I just looked up at her. She sat mounted on me, studying my face. I couldn't imagine what expression I wore now. The moonlight shone through the window, illuminating the room in soft white light. You're so soft. I cupped her cheeks beneath my hands. She was warm. She was alive. I slid my palms onto the back of her ears. She felt unbelievably good. That was the way it was meant to be. A human looking up, worshipping something so perfect and absolute. But now it was different. The god I had worshipped from afar was now in my hands. I could sustain her or destroy her with a single word. To think a human's hands could touch a god. I could reach out and pull her down. That was the power I had now. But, don't go, I whispered. Who was this boy that sounded so weak, responding to a need? Hope would turn to want. The girl in my arms had a clouded expression. She was afraid of what I would say, but needed to hear it. I didn't have an answer for her. You're so unlucky, Shiro-sama. To choose someone like me. I wouldn't let her fall. You know I can only put things on hold. Do you mean I can stay? I don't have a reason to push something so adorable away. Hit! I could hear her face grow hot. I can stay here? I searched for the right things to say. The causes and reasons made layers in my mind confusing me. That is a telephone! Where was I? I'll just start this one over. The causes and reasons made layers in my mind confusing me. Ha ha. There must be something wrong with me. I never thought I would be so happy being put on hold. I've always said reality is mercy. We know. You must be right. I felt her relax in my arms. She rested her body against me and closed her eyes. I closed my eyes as well. It was hard to breathe. It was hard to breathe with her weight on me, but strangely, it was comforting too. Misaki-chan, I'm here. Oh, this is gonna get crowded. Oh. Yuki made a pout, but soon softened her expression. Good night, sweet dreams. And that's it for this section, chapter, whatever. I'm gonna end this off here. My name is Dragonite. I hope you all enjoyed that, and I will see you all later.